Right. So this will be part 3 of Pockets of the Future Observed. Maybe Paul Romano might be watching this. This is not to offend at all. Here's the thing. If Pockets of the Future is genuine, then Paul Romano, that's the guy, that's who he is. The channel Pockets of the Future is hosted by Paul Romano, and he does commentary, and it's just him. And so if Paul Romano is genuinely a truther, then Paul Romano would have to empathize with where I'm coming from when I say that, that the majority and probably, at least possibly, all channels that make 5 and 6 figures a year are bullshitter channels. They're bullshitters. They're paid propagandists working for the beast system, getting paid by the beast system to bullshit their audiences. Paul Romano would be forced to empathize with that, and he would have to understand anyone who's skeptical of his content. He would have to. He may be able to pull it off like oh, whatever, but if somebody were to have a real genuine conversation with him, he would have to admit that yes, it is understandable why any audience would be skeptical of any truther channel, no matter if it's his channel or any other channel, especially if that channel is bringing in 5 to 6 figures a year doing their channel. That is healthy skepticism. Like, you ever watched X-Files? Trust no one. Dude, you think that I am going to trust a fucking YouTube channel that brings in 40 grand or to 70 grand a year? That I'm going to trust that they're not a paid propagandist? Any fucking person hosting a channel that would have put that expectation on their audience that's just the proof in the fucking pudding that they are a fucking bullshitter. They're a total bullshitter. Okay, so now let's go to common ground. Common ground with Paul Romano, and common ground with Pockets of the Future. This much is true, in my prideful opinion. It is a spiritual. This is spiritual. Spirituality trumps all this mundane shit. It is at least equally important. At least. Okay? And this is something that Paul Romano is fairly consistent with his channel, is spirituality. Okay? So when Paul Romano presents the argument that so much of what is going on is spiritual, and spirituality is probably the most important aspect of all of this stuff that's going on in the world with the beast system and money magic and globalism and the cabal, the deep state, Illuminati. The most important aspect of all of this shit that's going on that so-called truthers are talking about is spirituality. Now, the majority of these so-called truthers aren't really talking about that, or they're injecting religion. And they're injecting one particular religion. Whereas Paul Romano isn't as much, although here we go back to, where there's issues. is Paul Romano, pretty much promotes his spiritual belief system, and presents himself and his beliefs as superior to most other beliefs. He's also really critical about the Bible, and Paul Romano also believes that Paul's interpretation of the Bible is the correct one, and that these other variations of interpretations of the Bible are incorrect, and that Paul's interpretation is the superior. Paul's interpretation of the Bible is the superior one, and this is so. There's just a lot of problems with that. But let's try to keep with like the commonality. This is true. Okay. The spiritual element is the key to all of this. Now, does that mean that Paul Romano's spiritual belief system is the one? No. And I would say absolutely not. Beware of anyone claiming that their particular belief system is the best one and better than all the other ones. Anybody that's presenting themselves that way and presenting their belief system that way is a bullshitter. 100%. 100%. And Paul mildly suggests this, consistently mildly suggests that his belief system is the best one. Okay. So where that differs, like with me, is I have a particular belief system that is an answer to this, all of this that's going on that we're seeing and talking about with experimental needle things and suspicious viruses and suspicious politics and corrupt governments and black goo and reptilians and UFOs and all this stuff. Like, spirituality is the key. So Paul Romano is correct in that. But that doesn't mean that Paul Romano's spiritual belief system is exclusively the key. That is absolutely incorrect, wrong. And Paul Romano does mildly imply and suggest this consistently throughout his content. Now, where that's different from me is I will agree, yes, the spiritual element is probably the most important of anything else. But I would never say that my spiritual belief system is the one, is the answer. Now, I will go so far as to say my spiritual belief system is an answer, yes, but that it's the answer, absolutely not. If anybody ever catches me saying that, fucking push my shit. Because that is off the beam. And that's where I get suspicious of Paul Romano with his consistent, subtle suggestion and implication that his particular spiritual belief system is the answer. It's not. That's wrong. And maybe it doesn't realize that he's coming across this way. And that's okay. Paul Romano, keep doing what he's doing, like whatever. It's none of my business. If Paul Romano is a teacher, a real teacher is teachable. A real teacher is teachable. Fake teachers, they're not teachable. They already know everything. That's a false teacher is someone who already knows. They can't be taught anything. They're not teachable. That's a fake teacher. A true teacher is a student. A true teacher is always a student, and is prepared and expecting to learn as much from the student as the student has the potential to learn from him, the teacher. Teacher and a student is one and the same. If a person's not a student, they're not a teacher. So, and Paul Romano seems to be intelligent, emotionally intelligent or spiritually intelligent enough to where this is something he would understand. If he was presented this, he would agree. Like, yeah, a true teacher is teachable and sees the potential and probability of being taught by his own students. Like, we're all here to learn together. No one is superior. Like, that's all bullshit. So let's go back to the commonality. Yet when the like this is something that is true, and it's a consistent message in Paul Romano's commentary. Is he consistently over the years reiterates, rightfully so, that this is spiritual. This is a spiritual thing. It's at least, spirituality is at least equally important to all the mundane and all this stuff that, at least. But it's probably more important. And if I were to have to make a stance in that, I would say spirituality comes first, and all this other stuff is secondary. And Paul Romano has been fairly consistent in that aspect of his messaging. As far as his particular belief system, I don't have anything against it, but if Paul's opinion is that his belief system is superior to all others, I would vehemently disagree with that. I'd say no. Paul Romano's spiritual belief system may be an answer, and there's a good chance that it is. From what I understand of his explanation of it, there's a good chance that is an answer. That is an answer, but it is not the answer. Like, my spiritual belief system is not the same as his. And my spiritual belief system is an answer. Now, will I tell my audience what it is? No. No, because out of respect for the belief system that I have is one reason why I would not tell my audience what it is. And out of respect for the audience. Because you are the expert on your life, not me. There are many belief systems that are available to the public. They're not hidden. This is another thing. The truth is not hidden. That is a lie. The truth is not hidden. The barrier to accessing the truth is the individual. Do you want the truth, or do you just want to hear what you want to hear? Do you just want to believe what you want to believe? Or do you genuinely want the truth? If you genuinely want the truth, it's readily available all around you all the time. If you're bullshitting yourself, then the truth is always going to be, they're hiding you'll love those videos that say they're hiding the truth from us. That's the lie. That's what you want to hear, and you want to believe that they're hiding the truth from you. They're not hiding the truth from you. The truth is all around you every day, all day in front of your face if you want the truth. The barrier is you. You are the only thing that's preventing you from accessing the truth. And so an individual might believe that the truth that they need is who is behind all of this stuff. But in reality, that may not be the truth that you need. The truth that you may need is simply that this is a spiritual thing. This is not about who is hiding what for you and who are those terrible. It's what are you doing? It's not them, it's you. What's going on with you? Not all these other people, Bill Gates and Trump and Kamala, and oh, they're messing your life up, and they're hiding stuff from you, and that's not the truth that you need. The truth that you need is what's going on with you, inside you. Are you just using Bill Gates and Trump and all this exterior shit to distract you from what's going on inside you? What are you doing? Are you contributing to the problem, or are you contributing to the solution? So Paul Romano touches on this stuff, and so there is truth in it. So that's just me trying to be fair. But there's one thing I will say, yes, Paul Romano is 100% correct in that. And really what it is it's that. Stop looking at what is everybody else doing to you, and they're hiding truth from you, and they're hiding. Like, what truth are you hiding from yourself? Because only you know what you're hiding from yourself. Do you really want the truth? Because the truth starts with you. What's going on with you? Are you being honest with yourself? Because if you're not, then it doesn't even matter. You're not a truth seeker if you're not being honest with yourself. And a paid shill that's getting paid $40,000 to $70,000 to $150,000 to put a YouTube channel or some other channel up, proclaiming themselves to be a truther when they're spreading lies, that person is not honest with themselves, and that's why they're a fucking shill.